My husband, Rome, 26, and I, 32 female, have been married for 2 years. We dated for about a year before that. I had never been in a relationship before him. I grew up as the only child in a strict household prioritizing education. My parents said that I could get into a relationship after I finished school and they would find a husband for me. I was emotionally sheltered. I graduated high school, college, and even grad school without any romantic experience. Suddenly, I was 29 with no experience and no marriage prospects. I met Rome through friends. I found him cute, charming, funny, goofy, and sweet. We dated for a year before getting engaged. We had a long-distance relationship, global issue, until we got married. About a year ago, I woke up feeling like I made a huge mistake. Long story short, Rome has never spent much time with me, preferring time with friends, and he loves spending my money. He stopped working too. I talked with my friends. They admitted that they had their suspicions about his motivations, but I seemed so happy they wanted to support me. My parents were thrilled to see me married. I didn't want a divorce. I thought we could live our separate lives just like normal. It worked well until the past couple of months. Rome has become very nosy about me and my life. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I came across a few of my childhood photos on his laptop I had borrowed. My dad admitted to sending them to Rome. I asked my parents not to send that stuff to him before asking me. I told Rome to ask me for this directly next time. However, my parents still have been sending stuff to Rome without telling me at all. Most recently, he printed out a copy of my master's thesis. I asked him where he got it, and he said, "My dad." I was upset with my father for sending my stuff to Rome without telling me, as I specifically asked. I told my mom and dad never to let Rome have access to my stuff again, or I would stop sending them fund money now that they're retired. My dad yelled at me for an hour after I made that ultimatum. My parents think I've become a shameless daughter, but my friends are split. Some say I shouldn't have done it. Others are on my side. Am I the idiot? Edit. We are from the same culture. It looks down on divorce. Rome has a lot more freedom than I did, as he's male and has a more relaxed family. Jesus, lady, you're so far in the sunken place, I don't know what to say. You've made yourself a cash cow for people who don't respect or love you. You are allowed to find happiness. You're being such an idiot to yourself. I didn't want a divorce. Girl, you should. I'm so angry at your parents for raising you in this way. You don't have to catch him doing anything wrong to want a divorce. You don't like or trust this guy. He's using you. At the moment, it's hard to see past this, but you don't deserve this crud. Get a good lawyer. You are not the idiot, but you need a divorce and a lot of therapy. This is the answer. This woman needs a divorce from both this man and her idiot parents. What are they doing sending these photos and her thesis to him? Who actually does that without their child's permission? OP, what do you mean by "I thought we could live our lives separately, like normal"? Get a divorce. You don't get to have it both ways by refusing to divorce him and then being angry that people still treat him like a part of your family. Suck it up. Admit you made a mistake and fix it. Honey, you seriously need to reconsider your views on divorce. There's no shame in doing so if you need to. Your parents very specifically did something you asked them not to. You have every right to stop sending them money after they do that. Your father just came across one of the basic truths of life. Where there's support, there's control. They were dependent on the money you were sending them. This gives you a measure of control over their lives, for better or worse. And they're not entitled to your money. Stand your ground on your ultimatum and go low contact with your parents. I, 18 female, have been dating a guy, 21, on and off for around a year. but we made it official 3 months ago and have been monogamous ever since. I've been enjoying my time with him because he's sweet, interesting, and cares about me. But he's mad at me now because I rejected his very expensive and nice gift. Basically, last night, we were out for dinner, and he told me that he had a surprise for me. He pulls out a small jewelry box and shows me a pearl necklace inside. My heart literally dropped. I mean, it was gorgeous, but my first thought was, this must have been a fortune. He explained to me that it was his mom's before she passed away, and that his dad gave it to her. I almost cried. I mean, the whole thing was so sweet and meaningful, but I paused and realized that it wasn't appropriate. I panicked momentarily because I didn't want to be rude. I just let him down easily. Of course, I thanked him first and told him it meant a lot, but I told him that since we've only officially been together for 3 months, and since this is such a beautiful and meaningful piece of jewelry that's probably very expensive, I wouldn't feel right taking it. I could lose it or break it, and I'd never forgive myself. He looked very hurt and put it away. I felt bad, but he seemed fine the rest of the night. This morning, I woke up to a text from him that was pretty detailed. He explained that my rejecting it made him feel unwanted and like I was rejecting him, not just the necklace. I haven't responded, but I'm extremely confused. I mean, yes, I like him and I dig him, but we're not so serious yet that I can accept a very expensive and rich backstory piece of jewelry, right? I feel guilty and do not know how to respond to him. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You guys are a new couple. You don't even know each other yet, or if this relationship is even going to develop. Yet he's giving you his late mother's jewelry? To be honest, he sounds weird. He's overly attached after basically no time, and his reaction to this whole thing stinks of emotional immaturity. Obviously, it's up to you if you want to continue, but I'd urge you to reconsider. You can expect some epic mood swings, I think. Yep, this was my first thought too. I think you need to pump the brakes on this relationship a bit. His giving you this gift in the first place was inappropriate. Too much too soon. However, the bigger problem is his response to your honest feelings and feedback about the gift. He wants you to wear what is essentially a family heirloom, but he doesn't want you to be honest about your feelings if they're at odds with his. At best, he's emotionally immature, but there's also a chance that he's being purposefully emotionally manipulative. Yeah, girl, the gift was premature, for sure, but I'd say the bigger issue was his follow-up. He felt as if you did him wrong, which is crazy, and he wanted you to feel bad about it, which is worse. He has a very specific idea of what your relationship should be, and he gets angry when you don't follow the script. This is not a good sign. You're not an actor. You're not a character in a video game with levels to be unlocked through specific actions. So my 26 girlfriend and I, male 26, had been dating for a little over 2 years. We both graduated from the same program and held the same job position at different companies. We initially started dating in the program, and since then, we've grown to love each other deeply. This started about 6 months ago when she came home one day and told me she quit her job and wanted to instead invest in growing her business, which is a social media account based around beauty stuff. She had mentioned this is a possibility before, but I said it didn't seem like a good decision because we both have well-paying jobs and we need to save as much as possible now to pay off our student loans and to have money if we want to get married soon, have kids, etc. Well, she came home that day and said if I didn't want to support her and believe in her, then I could just leave the relationship. I didn't want to lose her, so I said, fine, let's see how it goes. Well, 6 months have passed, and it's safe to say it didn't work out. The account has like 200 followers, and she's yet to make a dime off of it in half a year. I've been working around 50 hours a week to pay our bills, loans, insurance, etc. I figured the least she could do was help pull her weight around the house, but she just leaves the trash and dirty clothes around. So, on my days off, I have to clean and do chores the entire time and pick up after her. I asked her nicely several times to at least clean up her messes, and she would always agree, but never do it. We were eating dinner a couple of nights ago, and I just laid it all out on the table. I explained I was frustrated that she wasn't helping out around the house, that she just quit her job out of nowhere, and that it made me sad because I felt like we both worked so hard to set ourselves up for success and to live a comfortable, good life, and that she's throwing it away over a hobby. I said I didn't want to work 50-hour weeks the rest of my life and mentioned that she would have to start at least working part-time or I was done with our relationship. She started sobbing, like full-on snot running out of her nose, and called me an idiot before storming off. She packed up and left the next day, saying she needed a week to think about things. She then stopped replying to my messages, so I texted her mom to see if she was okay, and she said she was and was staying at her house. I feel terrible because we rarely got into fights, but over the last 6 months, it just felt like I'm dating a different person. I'm not willing to accept this behavior any longer. She asked me to give it a chance. I did. It didn't work out. So now she has to reroute. According to her, though, I'm the idiot for being frustrated and for basically calling her a failure, which I never once said to her. All I want is for her to return to work. Am I the idiot for telling my girlfriend she needs to get a job so that we can start saving up for our future? Not the idiot. She's an adult, and it's not your responsibility to float her lifestyle. Relationships are partnerships, not caretakerships. LOL. Also, she could run the social media account while having a job. I've been trying to start a cooking Instagram and have a full-time job. Get out. You've done what you can, given her a chance to pursue her dreams, and now you're the sole breadwinner, working 50-hour weeks, and responsible for the domestic upkeep? Ask yourself this: what exactly is she bringing to the relationship? Anything? Other than just companionship and keeping you from being lonely. That's not enough for most people, so you're not a jerk by realizing that you want more from a partner. The fact that 6 months in, you calmly laid this out, and she reacted the way she did, tells me you need to leave. Her reaction indicates one of two things. She's highly manipulative and trying to screw with your head to just get you to back off, or she's actually nuts enough to think that being a complete freeloader on you is acceptable and there's nothing wrong with it. In either case, I don't see how this works out positively for you. By the way, is her business just an MLM scheme? Because that's exactly what it sounds like. Hardly anyone in those silly programs actually makes a living doing it. And coincidentally enough, the ones who do tend to be accomplished snake oil saleswomen. Box her crap and have it ready to move. You deserve better and someone that values you and your time. I, 38 male, have a daughter, tween. She's a really nice girl, but always acted a little repulsed by boys. She's friends with one boy. However, that boy is the only boy in her friend group. She would always say things like the boys in her class were dirty. School is out right now, but will be starting next month, and I was talking to her about whether she's looking forward to going back. She said she likes her teacher in class, but prefers summer, and claimed the boys made fun of her and that it made her sad. I've always tried to teach her to look out for bias in case she only notices it when the boys do dirty things and ignores it when the girls do them. I was obviously concerned and asked her if she had ever told her teacher about it, and she said no, because it happens when teachers aren't looking, and she doesn't want to get in trouble for lying. So I asked her follow-up questions about what they did, and she mentioned many things like putting snot in her hair and mocking how she dresses. She likes girly clothes, but I'm sure many other girls in her class do that too. This seemed almost outrageous, and I know kids like to omit the other side of the story. So given her views on boys, I suspected she was also making fun of them. I asked her if she had done anything to them first, and she denied it and asked if she was sure they were really being mean or just having some fun and being friendly. She got upset, ran off, and accused me of not believing her. And now I feel like an idiot. I never said I didn't believe her. I just wanted to be sure and try to gather the other side of the story, since I assumed there was a reason she wouldn't tell her teachers. She's never come back with bruises or anything, but sometimes has come back with footprints on her dress, which I just assumed were from play, and once she had gum and glue in her hair. My wife is also upset with me and wants to speak to the school, but I don't want to embarrass myself in case she started it or something. You are the idiot. You asked if she did something first. You don't believe her, and you think she deserved it. You need to apologize and get with the school. Because of people like you, victims don't come forward more often. It's the bullying equivalent of, well, what was she wearing? Maybe they were having fun and being friendly? I can't believe you said this to your own child. Sounds like you bullied girls in school and can't take responsibility for what you did, even as an adult. So you have to be on the side of the bullies. Are you really such a misogynist that your first reaction to your daughter saying she's being bullied is to worry about the boys? Do you dislike your own child? What is wrong with you? The boys are the biggest idiots around this age, way worse than when we were growing up. And my daughter dealt with more crap from middle school boys than she ever did the girls. You don't want to embarrass yourself? Well, that ship has sailed. You should be devastated at how little you care to defend your own child. This was your opportunity to give her a safe space and support. Fix it. I regularly eat with a group of friends, and invariably, someone forgets their wallet, so we cover them and they pay us back. The last few times I've paid for the person that forgot, and it took me a couple of weeks to collect. Not a big deal, but annoying. So I brought cash for my meal and drinks this time. I always have the same thing, so I know how much my bill will be. When we were done, I put my cash on the table, and yep, someone forgot their share. Oopsie, they asked me to pay, and they'd get me back. I said I also forgot my wallet and only had cash, just enough to pay my bill. Someone else offered to pay, but it was clear that they wanted their money back that day. The person who forgot his card then remembered that he could pay with his phone. He approached me outside and said I embarrassed him by making him look like he was cheap or something. I said I wasn't responsible for paying his tab. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Gee, I just remembered. He could pay with his phone. Wow. He was the idiot for expecting anyone else to cover him. He showed himself to be a mega idiot for then berating you about it. Good for you for bringing cash and standing up for yourself. Wait, what? He approached me outside and said I embarrassed him. LOL, yes, you embarrassed him by letting him make it abundantly clear that he's cheap. Your friend is expecting you to be his personal ATM. Yeah, you're not your friend's bank. Also, I've been out with my friend group for around 15 years, and nobody once claimed they didn't bring a way to pay. If you go out, at some point, you'll likely have to pay something. Routinely forgetting to bring payment is inconsiderate and disrespectful towards the friend you went out with. And yes, once or twice I could overlook it, but after that, I'd feel quite a bit disrespected. It also blows my mind that someone regularly forgets their wallet in a group of adults. Y'all need to grow up if it's frequent and more than one person does it. Well played, OP. The only people I've ever known who habitually forget their wallets are either cheapskates or were trying to hide that they don't have enough money at the time. It's never an honest circumstance. You should bring cash more often.